Welcome back to Road to Fire. We're a family of three documenting our journey to FIRE, financial independence, retire early. So excited to chat about our June 2021 net worth update. I'll provide all of our current assets and liabilities and outline how we're tracking towards our 5 financial goals of the year with all real numbers like always, so please hang with me. Now we're so close to hitting another milestone. I always find ways to break our larger goals into smaller goals or checkpoints just to keep us motivated. We've been riding the positive stock market run since this time last year, and I just hope it doesn't end. Only minor regret was I wish we were a bit more aggressive back then. Now, I said this before, but next year we won't have a net worth goal as one of our financial goals, because I really want to have goals that we can control 100%. Because our net worth is heavily weighted in the stock market, I truly have no control on where it lands each month. Now, we've been investing less than planned in the last 2 months, but our investments have continued to carry our net worth month over month. Now, I can't wait until we become 100% consumer debt-free and have already bought our next house because we'll be able to invest at least $7,000 after-tax dollars into the market each month. So here's our net worth roadmap over the last 12 months that highlights when we hit key milestones. Now, I personally track my milestones by every $25,000 as it's an easier target for us to reach towards, but I outlined $50,000 here to highlight our growth over the last year more effectively. So in July of last year, we finally crossed a net worth over $200,000, and that was not a win for us personally. We were making more than we had ever, but had a relatively low net worth. In October, or about 3 months later, we finally crossed a net worth of $250,000. Then 1 month later, we crossed $300,000, and that was driven by the bigger than normal bonus towards the end of last year. 3 months later, we crossed $350,000, and last month we crossed $400,000 net worth. So if we keep things going at this pace, I expect us to cross about a $450,000 net worth by the end of August and be on track towards our 2021 goal. So calculating your net worth is pretty easy. I always share this, especially for those who are new in their journey. We track our net worth at the end of each month, but do what works best for you. So you find your net worth by taking your assets minus your liabilities. Think of your assets of what you own, while your liabilities are what you owe. Keep in mind, though, that not all assets are weighted the same. Focus on growing your appreciating assets over time. Now, we don't include assets with a value of less than $5,000 into our calculation just to make things easier for us. We choose the inputs that makes most sense to us and our long-term plan, but adjust as needed for your own calculations. So let's review our current numbers. All numbers are through the end of June. This also marks the end of the first half of the year, which is big. But these numbers are again just a snapshot, and I'm sure everything has shifted or adjusted, fingers crossed, but for the better. We treat these updates like a checkpoint to see how we're progressing against our goals for the year and to keep us motivated. Now, it doesn't define us, but it is a directional view of our financial strength. In June, we invested $3,955, which was more than last month, but less than our target. Again, these are after-tax dollars. But this is all a part of our plan. Again, 2 months in a row, despite investing less overall, we were still able to see a positive net worth gain month over month. Pleased with how we're progressing on our overall FIRE journey so far. So our assets are made up of 2 main sections. Now, if you have a Mac, Numbers has this template that you can easily populate with your own numbers. We have our large and fixed assets as well as our liquid assets, also known as our FIRE assets. By design, our net worth is almost all in our stock portfolio outlined here, and that won't change. So our large and fixed assets include 3 assets. First are our 2 cars, which are both depreciating assets but still have value right now. The value of our first car dropped a wee bit versus last month, and that is reflective here. Now our second car did increase in value by over $4,000, and I did not make the adjustments here. I kept it flat month over month. Planet Money has a great podcast called Used Cars that explain why used cars are in such demand right now. #microprocessing chips. I wanted to sell one of our cars, but my son is moving to a new school, and that might make things harder for us. Now our other assets are duplex, which we bought in the end of November of last year. So glad we did. The current value of the duplex is over $385,000, but I left it flat versus last month again. But in total, these 3 assets have stayed relatively flat versus last month, landing at $425,536. For our liquid assets, we include our investments both taxable and non-taxable, as well as our cash on hand. For cash, we have about $1,639 in our checkings account and just over $26,000 in our savings, which is up versus last month. In total, we have about $27,700 of cash in our accounts, mostly within our savings accounts in Capital One. We would have more, but we did have to pay for a few large unexpected expenses. For retirement, we have about $242,000 in our 401ks, IRAs, and our Roths. That is about a $9,000 increase from last month. And we have about $87,000 in our after-tax brokerage accounts, up $5,000 month over month. In total, our liquid assets, also known as our FIRE assets, are at $357,552. For total liabilities, we only have two items here, and that's it for right now. We have one car loan, and the balance is at $23,692, which is down about $1,300 from last month. And then we have our current mortgage on our house hack with a balance of just over $339,000 on a 2.25 interest rate. In total, we owe just over $363,000, which is nearly a $1,500 decrease from last month. So here's the exciting stuff. Here's our total net worth breakout for June. Our total assets are at $783,088, including our liquid and long-term fixed assets, which are up about $15,000 from last month. And our total liabilities, including our last car loan and our duplex, is just over $363,000, making our total net worth to be $419,830, which is an over $16,000 increase month over month, driven heavily by our investment gains. We are chasing a $425,000 net worth milestone next, and we believe we can hit it next month. We received approximately $1,300 from our employers monthly. This is our 401k matches for both of our companies, plus my employer's contributions to our HSA. We used to receive more from my past employer as they matched up to 10%. Now, I'm missing that company right now, but when I look at our net worth roadmap or our growth over the last few years, I know my company's pre-tax support is a key factor. When I first started working right out of undergrad, I didn't really pay attention to the 401k matching or percentage, but now it's one of the first three things I ask when applying for a new job. Take advantage of this free money. I'm always surprised to hear that most people don't, and to make it worse, your company more than likely doesn't care. Our strategy has always been to build a solid investment portfolio first, start creating a rental property second, and then build our cash up in that order. It might not work for everyone, but it's been working for us. And I get this question a lot in the comments. How can you access your 401k money in early retirement? Now, I did an entire video on the Roth conversion ladder, and I'll link that here with the details. So here's our net worth trend graph for 2021. I always find a way to visualize our progress. Our net worth has been growing in the right direction so far this year, and that's all I could have asked for. So we ended 2020 with a net worth of just under $330,000, and right now our net worth is about $420,000. That is about a $90,000 increase in 6 months. I will say the key factor is how we were able to pay off our debt while investing. If you can attack both sides of the net worth equation simultaneously, then you can see some more strong growth. This isn't the common path, but has been working for us. Now, from May to June, we saw an even 4% increase that is up from last month's change. Loving this growth overall. So let's review our 2021 financial goals. All data is through June, so it doesn't include our numbers in our July budget, which I posted earlier this month. In an ideal world, all of our percentages or updates would be over 50% as we're now in the halfway mark of the year, but let's get into it. These goals are not in any particular order, and I will link our original 2021 financial goals video that gets into detail why we chose these 5 goals. Now, the first goal is to max out both 401ks. We have never done this before. Right now, we are 42.4% of the way. The reason we are slightly behind is because my husband started a new job in spring and lost about 5 to 6 weeks of contribution time. We will make it up in the second half of the year as the tax benefits are just too good to pass up. Number 2 is to invest $75,000 after-tax dollars into the market. Right now, we're just about $34,000, which is about 44.5% of the way. Our investments slowed down to help us on our goal number 3, which is to buy our second property. We are getting geared up to enter the market at the end of the summer. Our market in our neighborhood has slowed down a bit, so I'm excited to get back into it. Now, goal number 4 was a stretch goal, and we have so far hit about 32.6% of our goal of making about $15,000 in side hustle income. This includes our online sales, YouTube income, and survey money, with YouTube carrying the bulk of the percentage here. And the last one is getting our net worth over $495,000. Again, this is the only goal we are exceeding our target so far in the halfway point. We are about 54.4% to our goal with 330,000 as our starting point in January. How do I feel about our goals? I'm absolutely thrilled. We set crazy high goals, and to be still in the game in June is better than I expected. I'm feeling good with how things are progressing so far, and I'm confident that we'll be able to hit at least 3 of these goals by the end of the year. Now, I don't care what anyone says, I feel like we're rocking 2021. Set goals so high that even if you miss them, you still feel good about it. I still think we can hit these goals, but we have to make some ground in the second half of the year, and that's what excites me the most. I was scared posting our goals video because we were really stretching ourselves further than we have ever financially. We have always had financial goals since we got married almost 10 years ago, but this is the first year where we could put our goals out publicly. Posting our goals on YouTube keeps us accountable, but it also makes it very vulnerable. I mean, if you miss your goals when you're the only one that knows it, it's okay, but when you miss your goals in front of others, it's a bit different. But I'm so happy we put ourselves out there because this community keeps us on track. Now, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below. Until next time.